Cinco, cuatro, tres, dos, uno. Another episode of T&T Weekly, and listeners out there, it's a really special one today. It's my first videoed podcast, all right? In line and parallel with my audio that I've been putting out there. So a really, really fantastic moment for me. And it's my first in line with the gentleman who was my first interview, way back in podcast episode number 4, right? So, I'm really excited about this one. So hopefully I can get all the technology in check to transfer over my audio that's going to be high quality today and flip it over to the YouTube channel video. I'm going to test that out tonight and see how that goes. But special shout out about T&T Weekly merch. I got the merch going on now, okay, from Ryan over at Bolton's. Thank you very much, Ryan. He just zipped that out for me in the last hour and put that together, right? And obviously I wanted to promote Ideal Protein, what the show is about today, right? But first, let's start with introductions, all right? So for the listeners out there that just jumped on or are going to jump on and tune in, I'd like to introduce to you the owner of the Mill Pond Pharmacy Compounding Center in Mill Pond Medical Center, who inspired the weight loss program to come to Alliston, is Mr. Johnny Wong.
Hi, how's everyone?
Oh, great, man.
Yeah.
And over on my left here, this beautiful looking babe here is my better half, Lisa Leal. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks Tom.
And Lisa's here because Lisa is the weight loss coach for Ideal Protein, and Johnny gave her an opportunity to jump on board, and from there, that was the journey really of weight loss. And actually for my household, it inspired me. Now, all I can tell you is I'm just so happy to be able to bring this product to the podcast and let people know, because it works, okay? It works. Like I saw my wife, dwindling away, right? With weight loss, and I had nothing else to do but inspire myself and try to keep up with it, right? And so that was the start journey in changing our eating habits and everything like that. So this program works, and you're gonna love what you're gonna hear. And the other facet about that is the support system for this diet that really I like. I like the fact that you have motivation and leadership through your coach and knowledge, because she's gone through it. So she can give you real evidence of the program and follow up and support and knows what you're going through, right? And on the other side, this is the bomb right here, is the medical support from the pharmacist, right? Because he's always looking after you, right? And if you feel a certain way, and if something's going on, you're eating a certain way, you're feeling a certain way, Johnny's there, right? And he tells you this and he tells you that, and he leads you in a certain direction. And I've even seen him saying, listen, this program may not work for you based on the ketosis aspect of it. Like, this guy is there to take care of you. So you've got the front end with Lisa as a coach to inspire you, get you started, and the ample example of being on the program, and then you have that medical aspect and that professional in the back, supporting what is needed. So maybe what we could start with is, Johnny, like, sort of give us, your journey of how Ideal Protein, came to this community, and what you thought would be a good product, a good service, in the area of weight loss. You being a pharmacist must have seen many different nutritional programs out there, and obviously this attracted you, and you liked it. So tell us a bit about the program and your journey on bringing this program to Alliston.
Well, first of all, thanks Tony for inviting me again. And I don't know if the listeners out there, now the audience.
Yeah. It's getting there. It's getting there.
The audience is actually will be entertained by this. So first of all, again, thank you for inviting me. And this journey of mine started probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and I've never considered myself as a weight loss guy. As a medical professional, we're trained on medical therapy, particularly as a pharmacist, we talk about medication therapy. But after being a pharmacist for like 9 years now, in the last few years, I'm starting to think like we need a little bit more in my practice to satisfy my professional curiosity. Like some of my patients are coming in getting medication, but however, they're not getting better. So then the question is why? Why are people not getting better, right? So, so a few years ago, a colleague of mine in Markham, Ontario, and said that, Johnny, we have this program and we're just starting this, and what do you think? I said, well, you know what? My mom lives close by, so I talked to my mom, say, Mom, my friend is actually having a weight loss program. Would you like to try it? She said, yeah, I would try it. So within 2 weeks, like my mom has been a person living with hypertension, high blood pressure for 30 years and been on medication for a long time, right? So 2 weeks into the program, I call Mom up, say, Mom, how are you doing? She said, I'm doing okay, I'm doing great. Your friend is really helping me a lot. I said, okay, that's good, Mom. So just checking, how's your blood pressure? She said, oh, I checked it last night. It was like 80/50. Well, an alarm sounded in my head. Blood pressure 80/50 is low, it's very low. I said, Mom, are you okay? She said, I'm fine, I'm doing okay. I said, well, can you check it again, just to check it again, just to help me out, to settle my mind. She did. She came back like, I'm 80 something over 50 something. I said, Mom, that's low. Are you sure you're feeling fine? She said, I'm feeling fine. Okay. I said, Mom, next day, tomorrow, can you please just check your blood pressure before you take your medication? And then she called me the next day. She said, well, my blood pressure is still 80/50. I said, Mom, just to be on the safe side, can we just half your medication, right? So I advised her to take half of her daily medication, and in the afternoon, her blood pressure came up a little bit. Maybe it was 90/50 something, like 60 maybe. So the next day, I said, Mom, just continue on half a pill for one more day and see what happened. So the blood pressure still stayed low. So then, after 3 days of that, doing that half a pill a day, I said, Mom, just hold off on the medication, don't use it, and see what happened. So her blood pressure went back to 110/70 something. Now 110/70 something for a 67-year-old lady, that's very good, right? That's very good. As a matter of fact, some people say this is still a little bit to the low side, but she's feeling great. So one thing I learned from the program is that, wow, it changes people's blood pressure drastically. So it caught my attention as a medical professional. So if a person can go on something and a diet or a lifestyle change and eliminate certain medication and feel better, isn't that a great thing? Yeah. Wouldn't that be something that would help people's health more, right? So again, I dispense medications every day, but what I would love to do is say, hey, I'd like my patient to come and say, Johnny, I'm actually getting better. I don't need as much medication. That's what I'd like to see.
Interesting. So your passion was, again, focused more on the medical side than it was about weight loss. However, the link is that a different lifestyle choice of eating, right?
Yeah.
And how you maintain yourself in that program actually has huge benefits health-wise.
What I like people to see, or to at least to try, is that, hey, if I eat differently, if I eat in a different way, how would my body evolve? What would it be? And then at that moment, once you change and settle at a certain state and say, do I like this? If I like this is the new me, if this is how I feel good about, then the question is how do I maintain it, right? Yeah, and instead of coming to me, getting like 15 medications, and hopefully we can reduce on the medication, get a healthier, more active lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, hey, enjoy life
Yeah.
more than coming to doctor's visit. And I know this doesn't sound right coming from a pharmacist because I basically get paid by people filling prescriptions, right? Yeah, but the healthcare provider side of me, the healthcare side of me keeps saying that, you know what, we need to be more comprehensive in our community. We need to be more comprehensive in the way that we talk to our patients. Yeah. So then, and because of that, I think, well, you know what? Let me bring this program to Alliston, and let's try it and see what happened.
Yeah.
So the story continues when we start working with clients on the weight loss. But people come in thinking, well, we're going to do weight loss program, but in the back of my mind, I keep watching. Hey, how is this person's sugar level changing?
Yeah.
Is the blood pressure coming down? Can we reduce some of the medication? That's what I get excited about, and I keep thinking of that.
That's wonderful. No, I get it, Johnny. Coming from you, with you're such a pillar in the community. People love you for a reason, and I think that compassion on getting off of medication, right, and letting your body sustain itself, right, and if it was triggered by this program, I fully understand now why you brought it in. But let me swing over, to Lisa, the coach of the program, and sort of, I know Lisa when it happened and when you made that choice to head over to Johnny and everything. But at the same point, you were probably at a stage in your life that you welcomed this into your life in this program, and you followed it like to the T. So give us sort of your feedback as, I guess, the user at that point in time, and we'll move into the topic of coaching and what you do. But I mean, your experience with Ideal Protein and once you first took it on, because I think the arrangement, Johnny, was, listen, you try it. If you like it and you believe in it, you'll be a better coach. Right? I think basically it's fair to say that, right? It was almost like, this is your interview. Right? This is your interview. Take it because you have to be in it.
I think what happened is that Lisa was my client at one point, right? Lisa.
Yes.
And then she came on, and then she said, "Hey, you know what? I have a goal that I like to achieve." I said, "Yeah, let's sit down. Let's talk about it." And I explained to Lisa the program, how it works, and she's very good in following. And then we got good result at the end. And then the opportunity comes. I need help. I needed somebody else to help me to do the coaching, more time to spend with my clients, right? And and I talked to Lisa, and Lisa said, "Well, you know what? I'm not sure if I can do it." Like Lisa always. I said, "Lisa, you can do it. We're going to send you to the training. We have a good team of support behind." And there's consultants that we can go back to if there's questions that we need to consult with. And I have 2 years experience at that time, and I can definitely pass on my experience, right? So, and from then on, I don't think Lisa looked back. It's been, what, 2 years now?
Actually, it's coming up to 3 years.
Has it?
The end of this year will be 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Time flies.
So looking back, it was 3 years ago that, well, 3 and a bit years ago that I was actually on Ideal Protein. And once again, yes, Johnny, I was a patient of yours or a client of yours. I came in, I was frustrated, wasn't feeling 100%, needed a change, needed a reset. And you suggested Ideal Protein to me, and I never looked back. And 3.5 months approximately, I ended up losing 30 pounds and feeling absolutely wonderful in my clothing. Inches came off. I had a whole new way of looking at being more energy, and a whole new way of looking at myself, gaining more confidence. And then from there, yes, it was a new career choice I made when you brought me on board. And again, you're right, the support, and I can't keep emphasizing that word support is just unbelievable. So you as my coach was incredible. There were days where I think I texted you maybe a little too much, but I asked you certain questions and you were always there to educate me and to make sure that I was on track. So, you know, and again, we'll talk about my role down the road, but you know, that was key in ensuring that I followed the protocol and my results were there. But yeah, it was, I did it over the holiday season, so there was another challenge there, especially with getting together with girlfriends, because there is no alcohol in the program. That I, you know, just during that time frame, you know, parties were there, and I had to, you know, I had to follow a different road. But
I drank your glasses. That's what I did.
there you go. So the story comes out. But no, you know, the protocol was very simple, and you just follow it, and that's the easy part. Now, with the program, they phase you out, and they've actually done quite a bit of change to the protocol, so phase 2, phase 3, and we can go through that a little bit down the road, but now it's really a lifestyle change, and I love that. So Johnny, you were there to support me on that and get me into the lifestyle change. So eating better, feeling better, exercising, the whole bit, but also looking at the trigger. I have a trigger weight, so if I see myself between 5 to 7 pounds, which can happen in a blink of an eye, if you don't keep yourself on the straight and narrow, I go back in and I do a tune-up, quite simply.
I think we just want to be realistic and then honest to the audience too, right? The program works, but when the person is off the program, then the question is, what do we do, right? My experience with some of my clients is that, you know, after the program, we didn't do enough follow-up, and then the client said, you know what, I thank you for helping me out, and then I achieved my goal. I'm very happy right now. I think I can do it myself. And then from a coaching point of view, we try not to be aggressive, but then at the same time, what I learned afterwards is a year later, some of the clients actually revert back. This is a program probably no different from many other weight loss program, right? The question is that a way to maintain the change, right? And then, but one thing I learned at the end of the day is that as a coach, we need to put a little bit more emphasis on helping our clients to learn healthy eating, right, through the coaching and at the maintenance in particular. Because sometimes we were eating a certain way, right, and that got us to this state. And then so we change it drastically to eat it in a different way, so we got it to a different state. But then the question is, when we're not at that program anymore, where do we go, right? Do we go back to the old self, the old way of eating, or we gradually have learned something different and change it so that we will be somewhere in the middle, somewhere that, or even go to even a better path, right? Yeah. So it's something that even for coaches like us, we're learning every day from our clients. We're learning every day from our clients.
Yeah, it's you know, and what I experienced with Lisa when, you know, she got into the program, you know, take me, you know, we're a normal couple at home, right? We're doing our thing, and like, you know, so to make a lifestyle change in your home, and one half is doing it and the other half is not, you could understand the difficulty, right? Of you know, not sneaking in that bag of potato chips when it's there. And so, you know, the commitment to the program, as you just said, Johnny, it works. It works. You said it works. This program works. You want to lose 20, 30 pounds, 40, 50, 60, you want to only lose 5. This program works, right? But there's a process to that program and commitment that you have to keep and maintain. That's all. And even that, as you just said, lose the 20 pounds or 30. Okay, now keep it off. It's that lifestyle change. So, you know, it does it quickly. It's effective. but you have to have that commitment and continue in that lifestyle change. And like you said, meet halfway.
Yeah.
Right? Just change your habits and whatever. Because the moment you do that, and Lisa and I are an example of that. I can say, because we changed our eating habits, and it all started with Lisa in Ideal Protein. We just changed,
Yeah.
right? And we stuck by it. And we stuck by it because we saw that it worked, and we want to continue. For some, it might not. Sometimes it's a difficult path, right? It depends on what's in the fridge or how you're shopping, so it's a total commitment. So as you said, the support is so important as well, because you can get them back on track, right? Quite a bit. And listen, we've been there. I've been there. Up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down. The secret to really being on the wagon, right, or on the train, or on the bus, is maintaining it and staying that healthy and eating that nutritiously, right? So now let's get down to, what the program is about. Sort of, it is a ketosis.
So the background, the basis of the
basis
program.
of it. Explain the scientific basis of how this program works and why it's so good and why it's so successful.
So to keep it very simple, people might have heard of a process called ketosis. What basically happens is that most of our body is fueled by glucose, sugar, right?
Yeah.
And then glucose comes from different sources, mainly from carbohydrate that we eat, right? And then, however, when we have too much carbohydrates, that turns into glucose in our body. When we don't use it up, the body turns this into fat and store it, and then that creates excess weight. So to reverse that, what we're doing is that we're going to actually limit the amount of carbohydrate that we consume to a very low level. So which then triggers the body to not use glucose as fuel. Then another fuel comes in. It's called ketone. Ketone comes from converting fat into ketone, and ketone can be used as a fuel. So we have another fuel source that now we can tap into. So instead of using the glucose that we get from carb that we eat or the protein that we convert into glucose, we actually now switch the fuel system to a ketone-based system. So the process of making ketone is called ketosis, right? And then again, when we're not having we minimize the minimal amount of carbohydrate that we consume, the body will then start tapping into the fat, our body fat, and then turn that into fuel. So that's actually pretty cool, right? So one thing people notice, yes, they're losing weight, but more importantly, from a healthcare standpoint, they're losing body fat percentage, right? The body fat percentage is important because actually there's many medical studies showing that there's a direct relationship between body fat percentage and chronic disease, right? When we can reduce the body fat percentage, we're actually reversing some of these chronic disease. We're reducing inflammation, internal inflammation. Because of that, we're lowering our blood pressure. Because of that, we're lowering our cholesterol. And because of that, we're lowering our sugar, right? And then I've seen patients going on a ketosis program like this, ketogenic program, right? And go off the prescription diabetes medication, blood pressure medication, and they were able to stay off it, right?
Wonderful.
The question is, okay, when we don't have that excess glucose going into the body, there's many other things that's happening. So from a scientific standpoint, making it simple, this particular program is based on ketosis. By restricting the amount of carb, by having a easy to use program that can continue to maintain a low carb diet, right?
Gotcha.
And then the people will ask, okay, is it a high protein diet? So the answer is no, it's not a high protein diet, right? But it's a sensible amount of protein that maintains the body's muscle mass,
Mhm.
right? We don't want to lose muscle mass. So it's important for people to have enough protein, sufficient amount of protein to maintain that body muscle mass and function, right? You don't want to lose muscle mass, right?
Right.
And so having protein intake is important. It's fat, right? Then the question is, how about fat? Well, since we're trying to lose some fat, we're going to limit the amount of fat that we consume.
Mhm.
We're trying to use the body's own fat as fuel, and then so we can lose some inches that way. Now, very last point, body fat actually traps hormone. Body fat traps hormone. Think about it. What's hormone? Hormone are messengers. They're messengers that go around the body to tell the different body parts or different tissues, organs to function, right?
Yeah.
So when these messengers are all parked in the body fat and not going out to do work, what do you think?
Mhm.
The body will not function well. So when you actually eliminated the parking spot, so you have to go out and work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that explanation now because it's more of a medical scientific aspect to the diet. So, but now I'm going to go to the front end, right? So, and Lisa, you can pitch in on this one quite extensively. So, someone is frustrated, as you had mentioned. Someone wants some, weight loss direction. They've heard about Ideal Protein over at the Mill Pond Pharmacy, and they reach out and they give a call, and you come in. How does this work? How does the intro work? What's the starting point for a customer coming in wanting to lose weight?
Well, there's an awful lot of information that we have, so they can either sit with us. So if I happen to be there, and now that we're in the COVID era, I haven't been in the pharmacy as much. It's more by appointment. However, one of us can speak with anybody who comes or just walks in and wants some information. So there is written information. There are pamphlets and booklets. There's an awful lot of information on the internet, but we obviously would like to talk one-on-one, and we do provide that for sure. It's just a matter of educating them on the program, which is a 3-phase protocol. Phase 1 is the weight loss protocol, so I would go through that. You're on that journey, on that phase, until you've lost the amount of weight, body fat measurements that you have your goal in mind, and we work with you to get to that goal. Phase 2, we start transitioning you out so that the body isn't in any kind of shock when you go. You sort of slowly reintroduce healthy carbohydrates back in, or macronutrients. So we work with the client that way. So I would go into that with them as well. And then phase 3 is obviously the healthy lifestyle. And as Johnny was talking about, probably the most important part of the program is to get you in there and get you comfortably in there to sustain your weight loss, right? So I would go very briefly into that. There is a 1-page pamphlet that we have that just really simplifies it.
Yeah.
It is a really simple protocol. You just follow it and you'll see results. So in the pharmacy, we carry all of the food. So they're basically, what you do is you have 3 ideal protein packs, which have a sufficient or adequate amount of protein, whey protein in them.
Yeah.
And they're lower calorie, lower carb. Really delicious. There's you'll have one for breakfast, and you pick from a really nice assortment. We carry one of every SKU, so that we have the assortment for everybody when they come in. You'll have one for lunch, and again, we have soups, and we have some pastas, we have bars, we have shakes. It's whatever works within the client's menu choices.
Yeah.
And 2 cups of vegetables. And that is just sort of a little kind of cute little thing to say, is that when I was Johnny's client, one thing I did take away from that was eat more vegetables. I was never a vegetable person, but I am now.
Mm.
And I'm really glad that I introduced that. So again, I really took that from him and I try and pass that along to my clients. So you do have the 2 cups of vegetables with lunch, with your lunch ideal protein. Then you have your own dinner. So wonderful, and I can remember when I did the program,
Yeah.
I sort of made my own dinner, but you could have definitely have eaten what I had, and a lot of my clients do. They make it.
Yeah.
It's just basically a lean protein, and you have a list of quite a few to choose from, and another 2 cups of vegetables. And I was very content. It's
Well,
a really great.
If I may interject, babe, I remember those evenings quite well because the protein selections that you had chicken, fish, you had all
Absolutely.
wonderful foods, right? So
Yeah.
I just got into the mix to support Lisa in her program, and I basically ate the same as you.
You did actually. I
Well,
have
like
to look at that.
the only
Yes.
thing is I had the wine. Okay,
Yes.
I had the wine. I know.
That's
I did.
okay.
I did. I stayed on the wine path, but she was so good. She was so good. Left lots of it for me, and I took full advantage of it, right? But
And then
the meal preparation was very easy,
very easy, and
like really easy.
and you can keep it as simple as you'd like, or you can be as elaborate as you like. We have some real chefs out there right now. I have clients. We have cookbooks that are available. We can lend them out, or they are for purchase. And they really go into a really lovely gourmet
Selection.
style of food. So, so dinner can be shared by the client and their entire family. And then you get a snack, ideal protein, and again, they're salty and they're sweet. So they're really, ideal protein has put a lot of thought into what the client would like, trying to keep them within, healthy eating patterns. We either like a salty or a sweet, so there's something for everybody's taste. So just simply put, very, very easy. So going back to your initial question as to, if a client or a patient comes in and they want information, just seeing the food there, taste testing it, because that's very important sometimes.
Yeah.
The support in the sense of we have dressings, we have sauces from a company called Walden Farms that works very nicely with ideal protein, just to show the client that it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
We're making it easy, and I'm there to support as a coach. I'm synced in through text, phone call, email. During COVID, we've been doing the virtual FaceTime. We've got a scale also that the client can take home if they would rather weigh themselves at home. We have every scenario to make that person feel comfortable and that this journey is going to be easy. Easy in the sense that, losing weight, yes, it can be tough, losing measurements, losing body fat, but the program does make it easy. You follow the protocol, you shall see the results.
So thank you, Lisa. No, absolutely. A program that works and a program that's easy. So if it was me coming in and being a first timer with Ideal, I'd come in to see you, and I want to do the program. I've seen the selection, I've seen the backup, I've seen the support. I want to make that decision, and I want to do it. Please help me. What do I have to do? What are the next steps?
So perfect. So I can either sign you up right there and then, if I'm in pharmacy at that time.
And what does signing up mean? What do you mean, signing up?
So we do have a consultation fee.
Okay.
It is $150. It's a one-time. It includes all of the coaching, all of the support, anything you need.
Support, everything.
The pharmacist, if Johnny's not there, the other pharmacists are there. They're wonderful. There's always somebody there during working hours who can step in and help out. We had talked that for anybody who likes and shares this podcast, that we would take $50 off. I'm just going to throw that little tidbit in.
Okay, all right. So instead of $100, what was the
instead of $100, it would be $150. It would be $100, which really helps.
Well, thank you for offering that to our listeners. All right, so there's a good
TNT
start.
weekly.
$50. All right, there you go.
And that's a one time. So we do not do a repeat on that. We would, so that's the consultation fee. So it's about an hour initially, and we would go through the program just to ensure that a health profile is filled out. And the health profile is reviewed through our pharmacist. There is a sheet talking to medications and supplements. So we just want to ensure that medically you're able to do the program. There are some cases where we need a referral from your physician, or the pharmacist sometimes can make that call as well. So it depends. And the booklet is wonderful. The booklet goes through a lot of detail on the scientific medical part of the program. We go through that briefly just to ensure that their knowledge, is there on that. And then we go through the one-pager, which is the protocol, and that's really very important, that we just show them what they can eat, what they can't eat. And then they choose their food, which is the fun part of it, right? We go through and if they need help on meal planning, we're there as well for that. So, and if they can't meet and they can't do it right then, if they want to take the booklet home, they want to read through it, they want to fill out their medical profile, they don't have their list of medications or supplements on it, they can take it home and we can make an appointment for another time. I'm very flexible, local, and I can just run up and I can be there for the client. So, and again, there are some clients or patients that come in that have been referred by a doctor in the Mill Pond family medical building here. Again, we do recommend that, if they want to do blood work prior, it's a really great way as well of seeing the before and after. Blood pressure you can see right away, but the blood work sometimes is really, really neat to see after, and one of our pharmacists will read that and interpret it for them. So.
Okay, all right, interesting. So I'm still the customer and I come in and thank you so much, consultation, I'm eager, I want to get it, I'm reading up, and now I want to do my shopping and my groceries, and I'm looking at sort of my budget and I'm going to stop, buying beer, I'm going to stop buying wine, and even though some of the products, when you buy a lot of them, you might think that your budget cannot afford it versus buying everything that you previously were. But I would tend to disagree. Like, you cut out your alcohol, right? If you can, right? You're committed, you cut off your alcohol, and all of a sudden your junk food habits go right out the window, right? Tough probably getting on board with that right away, right? But I think as you continue, you get through the program, right? And if you're looking at a budget, I think you'd probably be saving money. I would say, how much, like Lisa, would be, I'm starting up, thank you, did my consultation, and now I want to load up, and obviously I can't speak for the protein dinner choice, right? Maybe they're going to pick, can you eat steak?
You can, there are certain cuts that you can, yes.
Steak is more expensive than a chicken on sale, right? It's, or chicken breast on sale. So we can't speak for that, but just for the protein, ideal protein selection that you have in the pharmacy. Roughly, in my startup, okay, I'm going to buy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. How much would that cost me?
Well, actually, you're going to have to add in a few more days there because you need to.
Oh yes,
we actually usually suggest you buy a week's worth.
Okay,
because part of the coaching, I think the big part of the coaching is the accountability piece, and that is coming back in after your 1 week on Ideal Protein and weighing in with myself and having your measurements done in pre-COVID. Right now we're not doing measurements just due to that.
Yeah.
But the 1 week of your Ideal Protein, you need 21 individual packs. So you're looking at approximately, depending on if you have the ready-made shakes or you're having a shake that is from powder format. So approximately it runs about $90 a week.
Okay.
So that's all done. And then there are supplements that we recommend that you take, our supplements, which are very high quality. supplements, you take an omega, a multivitamin, a calcium, magnesium, and potassium. And those are a month's supply, with the potassium being a month and a half supply.
Right.
And they run approximately $89, $90 as well. But they're a month's supply.
Okay.
So really, that's all you're going to see cost-wise. And then you're going to go to the grocery store, as you would always do your groceries on a weekly or bi-weekly sort of basis. And you'll pick up your lean protein choices and your vegetables.
Yeah, that's not bad. Like $110, $120 a week.
Well,
Spread it out.
For some people, that is a significant amount of money. But then one thing, like you said, Tony, is that we're talking about for example, the breakfast. Some people would actually go to one of the fast food establishments to buy breakfast.
Egg McMuffin and a coffee.
Recently I've been to McDonald's or Tim Horton and then buy breakfast sandwich and with a drink, and it came out to be what, $7, $8, easy. And an ideal protein breakfast is what, $4.50, $5. So when you substitute this cost to the other cost, like sometimes we spend money in our daily living, and we don't even know that we spend it.
I know.
Because we just
How much was Starbucks this month? Oh,
that's right. So, but if people sit down and think, hey, you know what? What's my my true weekly spending on my lifestyle? If you go out for a restaurant meal, is what, $20, $30 for semi-decent?
Pretty tough to get.
Semi-decent, right?
$50 a head with a drink.
So if you go out with friends like a couple of nights, instead of preparing your own meal, you spend some money there. Right? So for some clients, they see that and then they feel, okay, there's something, you're right, I can do that, right?
That's
and then
comparable.
So again, it is not like, it's a significant amount of money, but it also replaces some of the other expenses that you have.
And that's what I was referring to, right? Depending on your budget, obviously, and what you're spending already, right? And you haven't even thrown alcohol in there. Like, if wine is part of your dinner table, and a couple of beers is part of your dinner table, and then a few more in the weekend, that alone, cutting out alcohol, that alone, right? You should be in the plus side. Right? Stick an eye over. That's my opinion in looking at it. So thank you for that. So really easy, just getting the start. I want to focus a little bit on the tracking, and why I'm going to focus on that is that when I got into my fitness kick this year and I started tracking my macronutrients and my carbs and my fat and my protein, right? Because I had to keep up to this ideal protein gal. She's gonna get away on me, this girl, right? So I gotta buff it up. I gotta buff it up a little bit. So I was just on this fitness kick, and counting my nutrients and everything going in, and that's when Lisa said, well, check out the Ideal Protein app, right? I simply, I can do it. I'm a coach, and I can let you do this. Get on the app, right, and weigh yourself on my scale, and you can track your thing, right? Now I've never done that before, and so I'm going with my Fitbit and I'm counting everything I eat and my calories and all that stuff. But then every morning I check my weight, right? And on that weight, I was just so impressed, like on the app for Ideal Proteins, body fat percentage, water intake, BMI, weight loss, all these triggers, right? And all this informative information, to help you track. Because again, I'll tell you people out there, you don't track, it's over. You don't track with this, it's over. Don't even bother.
Can I ask you a question, Tony?
Yes.
Do you actually go on the scale every day?
Every morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, every morning. And
you're hardcore.
Hardcore, I'm telling you. I was converted. Ideal Protein, hardcore. That's what really converted me over, right, on that start.
Well, as a coach, I would say try not to do that. Try not to follow this guy, because the weight does fluctuate, and then it goes up 2 pounds here, goes down 1 pound or 2 pounds there, and then sometimes if you monitor too closely, the frustration. I have seen clients coming in, John, I can't do this. Like I thought I was doing well. I lost like 2 pounds this week, and I stepped on the scale, and they gone up to like 0.5, like half a pound of what, and then they got demotivated. So I said, no way in at your house unless you come into our place to do the weight, or you just do it once a week. Try not to focus on that minute body fluctuation.
That's so cool. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
it could very well demotivate you.
No, you're so true. So right now,
He listens to you more than he listens to me.
I didn't think of that. That's why, yeah, because Lisa, all your clients, they come in once a
Come in
week.
Once a week.
And it's important that you weigh them, but I
Exactly.
didn't think of that, Johnny. I weigh every day, because I'm just so focused on getting my body.
You're a little hardcore though.
Yeah.
You don't get unmotivated. You're rare. You're very rare. Still.
And it's fun, and it's changed my life. All I can tell you, just
Good
changed
for
my
you,
life.
Tommy. Go, yeah.
It's just been
And
awesome.
you're talking about the app. So the
Yeah.
app is you actually download it onto your phone or your iPad, whichever you
Yeah.
would like to use, and we can see it from our platform in the pharmacy. And as a coach, I look at the numbers. So our scale is wonderful. It measures, as you said,
Yeah.
weight, BMI, body fat percentage, which again, as Johnny had explained, is extremely important. We try and focus a lot on that.
Yeah.
A lot of clients do get a little bit anxious with the weight part of it, but we focus on the body fat percentage from our end. We also look at lean mass, and again, we really focus on the muscle, and we ensure that the muscle is as constant as possible. Because where we are different from a lot of weight loss programs is that we want to spare the muscle, and we're known for that.
Yeah.
So we do focus a lot of attention on that, and hydration is the amount of water in the body. So these are all very important numbers that we do look at. And again, like Johnny had said, we try and focus one week
Makes sense.
over one
Makes total sense.
period.
Yeah.
One thing I like to add is in the app, we actually ask our client to document the food intake.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yeah, the calorie counts and everything,
We-
right? Yeah.
The journal,
The
journal.
to journal.
Before we have the app, we actually had a journal book.
Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
I didn't know the power of journaling until I started
Exactly.
working with my clients.
Yes.
The one who actually do a good journaling, like keep the record well, they do better. They do better. Yeah, you've seen some people that comes in, they say, you know, Johnny, I forgot, and I don't want, and you can see the difference in the weight loss journey, right? And then further to that, I apply the journaling now to my diabetes education review with my patients. I ask them to write down what they eat, check the sugar before, check the sugar 2 hours after, put it down, and we sit down and look at it. As soon as that is in front of a person, all of a sudden all these light bulb brightens up, right? So you're starting to see what's happening. And then, so with the same idea is that the journal now, they become electronic.
Yeah.
So the clients can go to the app, and the cool thing I think about the app now, you can search the type of different food. It's like,
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
very
and
well
it-
done.
and it will actually have the caloric intake,
Yes.
the carb versus protein versus,
Yes.
so the macronutrient breakdown.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I have weights, so if I put down 6 ounces of steak, and it will show up,
Exactly.
right? So that makes it easy.
Absolutely. It's a very, very friendly app, and they've actually restructured it. It's very well done.
It came a long way.
You gotta track.
Absolutely.
You gotta track. You don't track your finances at home, what happens?
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
I'm gonna call my wife.
Oh man. So no, I totally get it. Like that once a week routine on weighing makes total sense, but it's still like my daily thing. But the tracking aspect to it. So here I am looking at this program now. Boy, if I'm a new customer coming in, I've already got the support. I think the support. If you've been on the journey of weight loss, and I've been on it. I've been on it, right? Where now it's the school of YouTube and the school of Google and whatever. But some people have the mindset that they need that support, right? It's okay, it's good, right? But to have it and all included with that one, now tell me something, on that consultation fee, let's say I start the program, I get through stage 1, and I fall off, right? That happens, eh, John?
Oh yeah, yeah.
People just stop. It's either they started in November and then Christmas came, or it just didn't work. They liked the program, they saw the results from the first 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but they fell off, right? Then they get remotivated again, or maybe it was a trip that they had, whatever, right? Then they come back in. Do they have to pay that consultation fee again?
No, it's a one-time fee, and
Even if I wait a year?
absolutely. Once you're with us at the pharmacy, our clinic
Right.
center, you're an IP client for life.
Okay.
Whether it's you're going back into phase 1 or you're in your phase 3, your lifestyle maintenance phase, and maybe you're struggling slightly, you're always welcome back, and we'll look at where you're at and where you want to be, and if you're having a hard time maintaining, we'll come up with a plan.
Okay.
And we'll work on that together.
What about, I've heard Johnny, you mentioned this, and Lisa mentioned it as well, the maintenance of proteins for your muscle mass, right, and maintain it, because you don't want to lose muscle mass. Okay? So I come to you and I say, I like your program because I think it can help me. I really like your program, all right? But I go to the gym and I work out. And I need that workout to alleviate stress. I just need it. I'm sorry. It's part of my routine, all right? And I don't want to lose that, and please don't take it away. Can I get on your program?
Well, then depends on the type of workout that you're doing, right? Because this program, the caloric intake is actually fairly low.
Yes.
Right? We're talking about average about 1,000 to 1,200 calorie per day.
Okay.
So, generally speaking, for a person who just living a regular daily life without any activity, we need somewhere between 1,400 to 1,600 calorie, or maybe a bit more, to quote unquote be balanced, maintained, right? So the program, in a way, has a negative caloric intake, right? Or a negative calorie
deficit
built in, right?
Yeah.
That calorie deficit. And then, so because of that, let's say if you have a workout routine that burns like 1,000 calories per hour, like you cycle for like hardcore, hard for an hour, you lose 1,000 calories. You basically have nothing left, right? If you only eat 1,000 calories and then you burn 1,000, so the program actually recommend very light, moderate exercise. We don't want people to burn out. We have seen people crash. We have seen people who are very motivated, both sides, both from the diet standpoint and then from the exercise standpoint. They really want to get the extra. Like you said, I'm hardcore athletic. I want to maintain my athletic routine. That may not be the best fit for that person, right? How you talk about, hey, is this program for everyone? Not necessarily. Right? So there are individuals, probably because of medical reason, but in your case, like you have a high motivation to follow an exercise routine, and if it's a high intensity one, when you say, you know what, Tony, you probably will find benefit from another way, right? Let's talk about a different way. Not necessarily do we have to go to Ideal Protein, or do something different, right? And but to keep you safe. Right. The main idea is we don't want people to crash or to be in a difficult. I've seen people actually, an employee of ours tried the program and she was very motivated, and then she go to the gym and then she hit that elliptical for an hour, and within that hour she actually crashed on site.
Wow.
Right. She needs to be rescued.
Wow.
So she learned her lesson. So there's how the program structure might have put some limitation to some people. So it may not be the best program for that individual.
Well, that's good. Thanks for your honesty. And again, another, testament to the program on, if you come in, you're going to get the analytics that, Lisa as the frontline coach will go through with you. And for further medical information and background, you're going to get it from Johnny. So,
But let me tell you something interesting. There are quite a group of people who just don't like to exercise.
Yeah.
And this program is very good for them.
Yeah.
But one thing we also emphasize to our clients is that, you know what? Keep body movements, right?
Yeah.
So there are certain videos that we actually can tap into through the app, talking about physical movement. We want the persons to stay active.
Mm-hmm.
We don't necessarily want to burn like 300, 400, 500 calories for the exercise program, but we want to maintain flexibility.
Yeah.
We want to maintain good posture. Get that person to think about physicality too.
Yeah.
But not necessarily have to go like for an intense workout.
So like a walk, like a half an hour
Like
walk.
a walk,
Nice.
do stretching,
Yeah.
maintain posture. Some of the basic stuff that we haven't really talked about that often.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I kind of get enlightened by some of these videos.
Yeah.
It's,
And can you still staying on that, workout or fitness area, when you get into phase 2, when you introduce, more good carbs, and can then you start like going to the gym, like say, okay, I'm gonna go hardcore, stage 1, ideal protein, I'm committed, I need to lose 25 pounds, right? And you stay on that, and then you go to stage 2.
Yeah.
Can you start working out there?
I think Lisa can explain also, but my point of view of stage 2 is that stage 2 is transitioning. We're transitioning from a weight loss, low carb body state.
Yeah.
Now we're trying to get the body hormonally adjusted to a different state. So we gradually reintroduce the carb, we bring the insulin system, we reactivate the insulin system again.
Mm-hmm.
So during that phase 2, which is what, 2 weeks?
It
3, 4
depends on
weeks?
how long they've been on the program, yes.
Yes.
But approximately, yes.
2 to 4 weeks time. I will still recommend a person to just
Myself as well.
yeah, just stay simple for now.
Yeah.
When we get to phase 3, now we're gonna actually look at the whole menu. Look at your caloric intake. Now we're gonna actually we're gonna adjust your caloric intake based on your activity level. So somebody who wants to go more active, you know what? Let's add some calorie back into your diet, right? From a good macronutrient proportion.
So, that's even this support is just incredible. So it's not like, well, thank you on the program, you lost 40 pounds, and give me a call if if you're having difficulty maintaining. It's actually, you will support them in stage 3 to then look at their metabolism and look at what they've been through in the program and say, listen, just a better way to maintain is do this, eat this, and introduce this, right, and maintain it. So, people, that's incredible. So, from what I'm getting in all of this, is the support system of this program.
Well, I have to say I'm fortunate that we got Lisa as a coach.
Me too.
I think,
I'm fortunate too.
yeah, it's the passion, right? It's the passion. It's the passion, and then we see this as a serious health concern, right? And then we want to share our experience. We want to maintain safety, and then and there's no point in pushing anybody to do anything. But on the other hand, and somebody's wanted to try it, and then and we will share as much information as we can.
Yeah.
And then to make the person comfortable through the journey. And I have clients come back one day and say, Johnny, this is not for me. They brought back all the food and left it there and say, this is not for me. I respect that.
Yeah.
It is, again, not for everyone, right?
Yeah.
The person may not like the food that's offered, or may not like the quote-unquote lifestyle.
Yeah.
But mind you, one important thing is this program is not how you're going to live for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And then it's a way to kind of springboard you, right?
Mhm.
It jump onto a different state, right?
Mhm.
And give yourself an opportunity to reset with a simpler way to do it. Like some people say, well, I can do ketosis myself. Yes, you can,
Yeah.
right? And provided you actually have that knowledge and also do all the background work, which again, we can, right?
Yeah.
But what the program does is they simplify it, they did the calculation into macronutrient into the food content,
Yeah.
and then make it as close to what a real life situation is, and so that person will still thinking, will still get the ideas that, hey, you know what, I'm not far off from what I was doing,
Yeah.
I'm just changing a different choice, right?
Right.
And then from that, your body starting to change, and you get the opportunity to see what the changes do for your body. Again, at that moment, it's like, well, you know what do I go from here? Do I want to go further? Do I want to go stay at this state?
Yeah.
Or, you know what, this is really not for me, I would rather do something else. Hey, the choice is yours.
Yeah.
And we respect all of it.
That's wonderful. So, you know, we're getting close to a wrap here because speaking of, you know, weight loss, I'm friggin' hungry. And I want to get home and have supper. And we're taping on a Friday night. This will be released tomorrow, as I typically do on Saturday. But it's really been wonderful understanding the program. Like I knew about it, obviously, with Lisa and knowing you, Johnny. But it's so much more in depth now in the detail. And listeners, listen, I'm telling you, everything, you know what was a tune I heard today? It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Well, you know, it's a long way to the top.
We've got to invite Mr. Ronan.
Yeah.
And then with his guitar, right?
Oh, you and Tim, yeah, we get Tim in. But you know, it is a long way. It is a long way to the top of anything you do in life, right? And if this is one journey to tackle, listen, people, if you're struggling out there, right, you've got it all here, right, in Alliston, all at the Alliston Family Pharmacy at the Mill Pond Medical Center. And Johnny, you've got if someone knows you, it's, oh man, Ideal Protein, and goes to your other location, Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
Can they get sort of the same direction at Ideal, or they'll swing everybody over
Well,
here?
we have some of the food selection there. So
Okay.
if people
Alright.
just want to pick up a quick snack or a quick supplement, like the supplement, or they forgot something and then they happen to be in the plaza, yes, we have something, right? But our main selection, our main location, our coaching center is here at Mill Pond.
Right.
Family Pharmacy.
Yeah.
I almost forgot my name. My home pharmacy.
You're getting hungry too, I can tell.
It's 7 o'clock at Friday night, right? So anyway, our main location is here in Mill Pond. And again, I invite people to come in, have a chat with Lisa, myself, or the rest of our team.
Awesome.
And then, you know what? Let's stay healthy. Let's try something different, and let's talk about it. Right. The one interesting thing is, ever since the best $60 I've ever spent is that piece of simulated fat that I put on my pharmacy counter. On my counter.
Yeah.
Like the amount of conversation that we generated. What is that? Right? People keep saying, what is that? Right?
Yeah.
And now we got a chance to open up our discussion. Hey, you know how the body gathered this? Could be a health risk if we gather too much of it.
Yeah.
How do we actually start change? How do we start thinking about the change?
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what I want people to do. Like, yeah.
Awesome. And Lisa, last words for the audience and listeners out there as we enter another weekend. What do you say, babe?
I say that's a wrap, and thanks a lot for having me on. It's
My pleasure.
been great.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you. The first video here, I'm just so happy about it. How you doing, everybody? And hope to put them out on every podcast. Some I can't, they're mobile, etc. Got some really exciting news on my home of TNT Weekly, and I'm gonna break that next week. It's gonna be so cool. I'm so excited. So a new location to invite guests and have the interviews. So in a landmark location here in Alliston, we can talk a lot about it. So I'm looking forward to that. Have a great weekend, everybody. Okay, we're off. Eat healthy, all right? And if you're off the program, drink some wine. All right. Love you guys. Bye now.
Take care. Bye.